Boom. Hey, what's up, guys? Joker here, joined back again by Brian for our 20th episode of Tech Gaming Weekly, and we got a special guest this week, Carrick from Angry Centaur Gaming. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
So,
I got some new socks,
Yes.
and they're really good. They're like cushions for my feet, so I'm really proud of these socks that I got.
Jesus.
Proud.
So we got a guest this week, Angry Centaur Gaming. If you guys want to check him out, his links are all down in the description below. But just to let you guys know a little bit about him, I've been watching him for a while.
Joker here.
I can hear myself looping back.
By Brian for
So yeah, anyway, I've been watching Carrick for a little while. He basically does like honest, legit PC reviews. Not PC reviews, all game reviews. But it basically, what I've picked up from your reviews, it's kind of like what I would expect from like a big site like IGN or Game Trailers, but it's all like a one-man show.
It is.
It's all, and like, my God, like the amount of games you review, you must be like insanely busy.
I am, but that's where crank and no sleep helps. Just joking. don't want to push drugs, but yeah, it is just me right now. We have another person who helps out on some walkthroughs, let's plays, but for the majority and for the reviews, it's all me.
Yeah, and I don't know, I couldn't play that many games to like completion to do that many reviews. That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, people are asking for the new intro, so
Well, okay,
I think
yeah,
we should roll the new intro.
Yeah, we're gonna roll through that new intro now. We were gonna say what's up and then roll the intro, but here you guys go. You guys want to see it, and here it is. Woo! By Brian.
Bye, Brian.
It's so cheesy.
Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
You'll have to see it afterwards. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Is that audio mute?
For me, I can't hear it, but they can.
I can't hear it, but I
Yeah. All right, that was the intro that Brian worked on this week. Brian, you did an awesome job in that thing. I think it was
Good job, Brian.
I must have watched, I think, 100 times that day that you sent it over to me.
You did, eh? Yeah, I was like, damn, Joker loved it. Obviously, he uploaded it to his channel, so.
Well, I put it up unlisted initially because we wanted to see if the music was going to work or if we were going to get like hit on a copyright or something like that. And then people were like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" And I was just like, "All right, I'll just make it public and show it to people."
Very cool.
Yeah, true that. Well, we're at the Tech Gaming Weekly. Now, this week we didn't have Tech First again, guys. We got gaming news. So again,
well, we're gonna have to. Well, I know we were supposed to shuffle it this week, but since we had a gaming centric guest, I put the gaming stuff at the front again because we had Adam Sessler last week, so we had to shuffle it. We got Carrick this week, so we had to shuffle it again. But next week we'll do the Tech First, I promise. Unless
By the way, that was awesome having Adam on.
Oh yeah, that was
so cool, man.
Dude, that was unbelievable. That was like a defining moment for me. Like I watched that guy for years, and like when he was like, "Yeah, let's do it," I was like, "Are you serious right now?" It's like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah. He's such a cool guy. So laid back.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of people afterwards that on the comments were like, "I can't believe you had this guy on your show." He's like, because of like stuff in the past with like Gamersgate and stuff, and I was just like, honestly, I had to go back to watch it because I had forgotten all about it. And I was like, honestly, I really don't have a problem with most of what he said. I think he's just speaking his mind.
Yeah,
yeah.
Each to their own. I mean, yeah, I don't really know too much of the story. I mean, it's like, but he came on to promote a video game, so how anti-gamer can he be, you know? So,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, let's leave it done and dusted. Let's move on to the first topic, yeah, Ubisoft. Well, you want to move on to personal news? I mean, I don't have much to talk about except for.
I was actually thinking about this like before the show, since we always do like the personal news. I was thinking each week we should kind of do a tally, since both of us are getting so much tech now, and like new tech, and there's new games. We should say what we got tech wise, new tech stuff, new gaming each week. So I was wondering,
that's true.
Did you get anything new this week, tech or games?
Yeah, like I said, I got that Deep Cool set. It's a lot of products, like two different coolers, like 4 fans and that power supply, and then I'm getting something from Lexar as well. They make memory cards and stuff, but I do like their brand because I've got Lexar memory cards already here, and I know they're good value for money. So when they ask me, they're like, "Do you want to take a look at our memory cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know this brand, sure." So they're gonna send us over like some crazy speed memory cards and stuff. Like I just said, send us over a heap of stuff so I can test it all and let people know, you know, like is Lexar better than SanDisk when it comes to memory cards. So that'll be good. And then some other company wanted to send me some microphones, and I was like, well, make it worth my time. So just send us like 5. So, but then they're like, we don't want to post internationally, and I'm like, so
Which one was
that's about it.
Which one was that? Is that Noise again, or is that someone else?
Stony Edge or something. So I don't know. Like
that-
I always love microphones. So
I know this is before we even started doing the show. Is you did that review on that Noise mic? Did you get that from them, or did you buy that?
they sent that out to me.
Yeah, because I had hit up Peter right after seeing that, the guy from Noise, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll have like finished samples in about a month." That was like 8 months ago. I haven't heard back from the dude. I tried emailing him twice.
Yeah. Who knows, man?
Yeah, well,
You might this might be good or something. I don't know.
What about you, Carrick? Any new games that you could talk about? New games that you picked up that you're playing this week?
Yeah, I just finished up the Assassin's Creed review for Syndicate, and that'll be out tomorrow. I think it's 7 a.m. I have to look at the timing. And then Vermentide comes out on Friday. So
Yes.
Unfortunately, reviewers are. Since we are sort of consumer centric, trying to get reviews out prior to the release. I was sort of upset because we ended up having access a while ago, but for some reason the actual final won't come out until everybody else gets it. So
Yeah.
the first thing I'll probably do is jump into that. We posted a bunch of reviews in the last couple of days. It's been super busy, and then of course Halo. Halo's. I think this is probably the sort of not the curtain call, the swan song of 343. Like, I don't mean it will be. I just mean it can be if they don't sort of clean up their act. I liked Halo 4, but there were some issues with it.
Yeah.
And it feels to me like they have one more chance to really sort of gather everything together and get that story right and get the technology right. So I'm super excited to see what Halo's offering now that they've made the jump to 60 frames per second. I know a lot of multiplayer fans are stoked for it.
So if I watch a channel and then like I watch the reviews, I can then pretend like I've played the game. Like you see all these people like pretending they know tech because they've watched a video. So I'm just gonna watch your videos and be like, yeah, I know this game, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we do have a tendency to cover super in depth. A lot of it has to do with game design as well. But it's always I'm always joking. That's just the way I am. So I try to make it fun, do the thing. But yeah, we have the same thing on our channel. We do a little bit of tech, and sometimes somebody will watch it. You can tell they haven't played anything. We talked about that earlier, where people are saying stuff about certain games that haven't been released yet. And as a reviewer, we're not allowed to talk about it. So bad press can be spread, and you're held to NDA, where somebody who got it early who just wants to crap on the game.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing the Syndicate reviews tomorrow when the embargoes get lifted, because I've been waiting for a good Assassin's Creed game for ages, man, especially on PC, which we're not going to get right away. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I'm just curious to see how like the game is going to get reviewed as far as performance-wise and everything.
Right. Yeah, Unity was a mess. It was the first review I ever worried that a company never send me a game again, because I hammered that game in the review. And yeah, they're pretty cool to work with. I think you should definitely watch those reviews. I think you might be surprised.
Yeah, well, and then I'm also have to wait until it actually comes out on PC, so we actually know what the performance is like, because that's been plaguing that series for ages. Just
It has.
really bad PC performance, like bad frame rates, poor SLI scaling. Last year with Unity, the texture pop-ins and all the other just environmental glitches and everything, it was so bad. You just couldn't even play it, even though you wanted to.
I think one of the problems is, regardless of console or PC, the plain and simple fact is they're asking of that engine far more than it can actually deliver. And until they need a rewrite for the engine, and they're not doing that right now. So I think that
they need a new engine entirely.
They do, and I think that you'll probably see, you'll probably see some of that reflected in the reviews. But when it comes down to it, that whether the game is good or not, that engine needs a rewrite. And until they go back and they know that, we talked to them about it at PAX, and we talked to them about it at GDC. They know, they're aware, but a rewrite, for me, a rewrite does nothing but please everybody. Here's why: it stops the game from coming out yearly, which a lot of people don't want anyway, and it allows them to fix the engine. So to me, it's a win-win. Rewrite it, take 2-3 years off.
That would be great. I would welcome that with open arms.
Yeah, and improve your technology. They're technology-based. Their multi-threading's bad. They have multiple issues in that engine. So
even if they still continue annual releases with a different team, and they have like their main team splinter off to start working on the engine and a game for like 2-3 years from now, and just plan out like a really big title, like that would be great. And that could just be a rebirth to the franchise. Just like
it absolutely could. Yeah, and that would make me very happy, but I'm not 100% sure as a company they can see that as being feasible right now. So,
Yeah, and that sort of transitions us into our first topic this week. Ubisoft came forward, made this little announcement saying that PC gamers are important to them. So
our friend.
we're their friends. I mean, I really want to believe them,
See,
but they're
no, they need to change this title. PC gamers money is important to us.
oh come on, man.
money.
I'm sure I'm sure they want to please everyone. I'm sure they want to put out a good game. It's just they just haven't really shown that. At least and whether it's from the developer side or the publishers are not having enough money there to optimize for PC, I don't know. But they just haven't really hit it in the past few years with anything. Unity, Watch Dogs, even go back to like AC3 and AC4. Those weren't really well optimized on the PC either. So it's really just show us, just do something. Siege has me hopeful though. I really enjoyed that in the beta.
Yeah,
We're-
Siege has
we're
me hopeful
dedicated.
as well. Siege is
committed.
definitely awesome.
Yeah,
Well, if they're for the people, then why don't we get some free stuff? Like, give us a free demo of something. Allow people to play the game for the weekend for free. That's taken care of. That's being committed.
well, dude, they did. We played Siege for like 2 weeks.
I know, but give it for like give it away for free. Like, just give it away.
Give Siege away for free.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude,
It'd be
you're bugging.
it'd be free to play. There'd be a microtransaction. There's no way, especially with the announcement this morning about Vivendi investing in them, and them being so nervous about it. Wasn't that this morning when they announced that?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
Well, they
so
need to do something big. Like, if
there's a
they're
huge
committed,
nervousness there.
Ubisoft
Yeah.
has a pretty bad track record recently, so they need to start doing something to, not giving away a game. Obviously, that's just me being a dick, but like I don't know, they need to offer something, and they need to offer it soon. So if you buy the game, you can maybe get it special freaking month where you can get the game for $15 or $10.
Well, I mean,
Or they go back and fix the prior titles and they release a big pack where for $50 you get, Syndicate as well as,
Yeah,
4 or 5 of
that's
their prior
actually-
games.
Well, yeah,
I've
if-
always believed in that.
yeah, if they're actually going to support those older titles, because they've also had a
Right.
track record of abandoning games. Like,
Yep, they have.
Unity was supposed to get a tessellation roof patch. We never got it. There were issues on Splinter Cell Blacklist with the Spies versus Mercs. That they just completely walked away from the multiplayer and didn't support it after a few months. Just completely
Right.
walked away from it. So that's why they don't really have my trust right now. And we had a lot of matchmaking issues on Siege in the beta, and I want to see those get fixed because otherwise it was fantastic. I loved the gameplay in Siege, so I want that to be good more than anything. That would buy me a little, I don't know, a little favor with me for Ubisoft if they were to get that title right at least.
We've got to ask the viewers, what do you guys think of Ubisoft? Put your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of Ubisoft.
Well,
do you think they can do it?
I think I know how they feel. They've usually liked the rants I did like a year ago with the Ubi shit rant or whatever. I can't remember what it was for Unity, but man, I ripped that game a new one. God, it was so bad.
Yeah, Unity was. I mean, Unity was, I think, universally poor. I don't think anybody would probably argue that, and I know they wouldn't when I talk to them. But I do wonder, in all honesty. So we do have some games from them that aren't bad when they're not on that engine. I really do think it's that engine, and that I don't know. Maybe they can't give the patches that we want because I'm a PC gamer too, and maybe they can't because that engine's just, it seems to have problems no matter what. And I can't, like I said, I can't talk about Syndicate, but even in Rogue, which was a smaller contained title versus Unity, it had its own specific issues that you could watch occurring. And you could actually, if you play a lot of Assassin's Creed, I know most players state this, if you watch an Assassin's Creed or play it for a long period of time, you can quite literally watch it slowly devolve, like it's losing memory or like it's having some kind of issue. And you can see, NPCs start to react oddly. You can see just different things starting to crop up. And it's almost like they can't patch it because
It's the engine.
It's the engine, and it'll induce more problems. That's actually what I'm wondering, is if a lot of their lack of fixing is simply because, and this, I'm not saying this is right, by the way. I'm not giving them an excuse. I actually think it isn't an excuse, but I think that they just keep releasing titles on those engines and patching, the roof patch and all that stuff. Maybe they put it in and they started getting 5 frames a second everywhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
that game had so many issues. Who'd want to try to even patch that? It was a disaster.
Yeah, on top
I mean-
on top of the issues it was having, I mean, tessellation patches were far from. It needed a lot more before it could even get to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always been a resource hog too. It's been very CPU heavy, but
Yep,
the games
right.
the games are gorgeous though. Like Unity was a beautiful game. Like the lighting on that and the detail and the architecture was some of the best I've ever seen in an open
Now,
world game.
You know the difference. I'm assuming you know that Syndicate removed that lighting engine
Yeah, I know they've stepped it back a little bit. It's gotten a bit of a downgrade.
to do dynamic. So for people who like adjustments to their game world, the dynamic lighting is probably going to make them really happy. So the ability to do day and night, dusk, dawn, that's very cool. But Unity looked better, just plain and simple. When you pre-bake the lighting like that and you do the lighting that they did in Unity, it looked awesome at times until everybody started switching genders when you were running through crowds or, all of the different issues you had.
Or when there wasn't a window there, and then all of a sudden there was a window. There's a window there.
Yeah. There was so many problems with that title.
Oh, that's an open doorway. Oh wait, no, it's a solid wall. It's like I didn't find out until the last 2 meters. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Rainbow Six Siege looks pretty good, so I'm liking what they're doing with that.
Yeah, I've got
I want to get a copy of it.
Yeah, I've got some gameplay up here from today from Squirrel, and this is from a preview event that they had recently. Not a review event, which I've expressed my opinions about in the past. I'm not a fan of review events, but this is just a preview event where people got to go out and play some of the levels. So we've got some information here as far as new levels are concerned. There's this chalet type level up in like a snowy mountainy area.
Yeah, it looks
There's like a biker bar looking type thing, kind of like Sons of Anarchy-ish. And then this last one looks kind of like a housing project, I would say, like a low-rise housing project. So a few new environments we got a chance to see, opposed to from what we saw in the beta, which I like the house level in the beta, but all of these maps look really good.
Did either one? So am I the only one who spent time with that title, or did you guys get a chance to jump in there and play it?
I played the beta a lot. I probably played like 50, 60 hours on the beta.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I was one of the few people on my channel that did. But I actually,
I thought it was great.
yeah, I liked. I mean, it didn't look beautiful or anything like that, but the gameplay itself was enjoyable enough to keep me coming back.
Yeah, the gameplay is really solid. I mean, they had I felt like some hit detection issues and some.
They did, yeah.
Some maybe like networking or netcode issues you want to say. But the destruction was unbelievable. That's some of the best destruction I've ever seen in a shooter.
Yeah, agreed.
It's basically just taking like kind of like a Counter-Strike type formula, but adding that destruction element just makes it so more lifelike and realistic, and makes me want to spend time in it because it was just so dynamic, where every level changed from a round to round basis. Even though you're spending multiple rounds against the same team, every round was different.
Yeah.
And that's what just kept it fresh for me. It's constantly fresh. And I love that in games that it's different. It's one of the main things. It's finally a different game a little bit.
Yeah, I liked my time with it.
Yeah, all right, well, we'll move on to Ubisoft is done. So Warhammer, you want to move on to Warhammer. But my thoughts and opinions on Ubisoft, yeah, if they care about the people, then show us that you care. Let's get some discounts going. Let's get some things that aren't just dedicated towards taking our money. And then we'll know that you care about us. That's just my 2 cents on that.
Brian, you're being a little salty today with Ubisoft, man. I gotta be honest.
I am. I woke up and I got some Vegemite, so I'm pretty cynical. Vegemite. Vegemite, it makes me cynical.
Well,
Exactly.
Brian will be cheered up for the second half of the show when we get to the tech.
That's it. I got to get it all out now so I can give people a completely neutral view when it comes to the tech.
Well, at least I think I can kind of understand your saltiness towards Ubisoft. At least it's someone that kind of deserves it.
It's just like all these game companies tend to be going with this shift. And I don't forget, I got a great long-term memory. And I remember when games used to be just devs wanting to make something magical.
Well, I think
didn't really care about
still,
the cash.
Well, just it's the devs, man. It's the publishers, not the devs. You have to remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And now it's like these poor programmers are just controlled by these publishers, and they got like their freedom is just limited now, where it's just like, look, make a game that appeals to some 12-year-olds and it'll get some money, and as long as it's got blood and guts everywhere and it's cool, then it'll sell. And instead of giving us a story and giving us smooth gameplay and just focusing on making a magical game, a lot of these companies are just going with this profitable route. I mean, I'm just over it. Like every time I see it, when was the last time? I can't remember the last time I played a game. See, I haven't played Witcher 3 yet though, so I want to play that. But I haven't played a game since for a while where I was just blown off my feet, like completely swept off my feet, and I just wanted to come home from work and play this freaking video game all day, every day. The last time I had that was probably like I don't even know. I forgot. So, Neverwinter Nights, maybe when that was first released ages ago.
That's just. I think that's. I think that also just comes with kind of maturing and just getting older as well. You kind of, at least it has for me. I feel like I've not played some games as much as I would have like a few years ago. Like even Witcher 3, I still haven't finished that yet. But like 5 years ago, I would have sat down on day one and I wouldn't have moved from my couch until I finished that game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I thought like the last World of Warcraft expansion kind of did it for me. Like, it was good until I just got bored of it again. But like, I would just like to see, and Pillars of Eternity, that was pretty good too. Like, I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that game.
I put a good amount of time in that too.
For me, it was Divinity Original Sin.
Yes, that was unbelievable.
Divinity was unbelievable, and that was one of my first reviews, and it was one of the most enjoyable experiences to turn that game on, and then like I think 38 hours in one sitting, turn it off, and be like, okay, that was almost 2 solid days of playing a single game.
I think that may have been your first. I think that may have been the first reviews I actually watched because I remember that game came out, and that game came out, and it was so good and so different from what everything else was out there. And I gave it my game of the year last year. And it was like when that game came out, I was just hungry for content. I wanted to find every review and every video and class guide on YouTube because it was just that good and that deep. And that,
well, not to spin back to Ubisoft, because I don't want to hammer them too much. Well, they probably deserve it. But one thing I have to say, when we talk about companies not delivering back to the gamer, not making them feel wanted, Divinity Original Sin, if you guys look at what they're doing with the definitive edition or whatever, it's insane. Everything's voice acted. They're a whole new story, totally different ending. And this is the same game. So if another company did something like that, they'd say, hey, look, here's our master edition, which really just includes the shit we didn't sell you or you didn't buy DLC-wise. That's basically how everybody does it.
And that'll be another $60, please. Right.
But when you see this, if you guys go and look at this title, the amount of new stuff they're adding it blows me away. Now, I'm a fan of their original title, Divine Divinity. The first one is absolutely made me a fan of that company originally. But this one it's fantastic. It's a game that, just like you said, where you sit down and suddenly, 2 days later, you're like, well, oh shit, I should probably, actually make sure my wife is still alive. That's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, and all of that, the stuff they're adding in it for the definitive edition, for the console release, it's all free update for PC players that already own the game. It's free update.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I was getting to with his comment about,
Yeah, that's what I feel like you were getting towards.
Putting something back to gamers. The fact that it's completely free blows me away. Wasn't the Wasteland 2 update completely free for PC gamers too?
Yes, I believe it was.
So that's cool.
That's another old school kind of like isometric game that came out also. That's kind of in the same vein as of the original Sin, where it's just a small developer doing something right. And it's a game that big publishers say, oh, gamers don't want these kinds of games anymore, but then they go out and they prove them wrong. And now they're crowdfunded and they've got their own thing and they don't need to listen to a big publisher or something like that.
Right.
So
so do we want to talk about the Warhammer End Times Vermentide?
Vermentide.
I was going to say Vermentide.
Yeah, this is kind of an older article here, but it was the most relevant thing I could bring up because I've been playing it a bit recently since we got the open beta now, and it comes out on Friday the 23rd for everyone. They've got 4 levels right now, but it's basically like Left 4 Dead, but with swords and like a Van Helsing vibe and shit.
I was going to say it looks
awesome.
Because like the zombies creeps me out, man. Like whenever I play games with zombies, I'm like, I hope this shit doesn't happen in real life.
The rage virus.
At least with this, I can kind of not have to have that worry and that fear while I play the game. So this looks really cool. And
it is, man. It's got.
Do you have any idea of pricing?
I think it's $30 right now. I picked it up.
It is,
I got it for 20. It was 10% off, so I got it for $26 on Steam.
Oh, so you've already played it?
Yeah, I've been playing the beta for a little while now, and it's just a good time, man. I love co-op games like this where I can just hop in with a group of friends, because that's, I'm always hanging out with a group of friends on TeamSpeak, and we're always looking for something that we could all play together.
Yeah.
And this is just one of those games that you could hop in, and it's, it's kind of like a dungeon crawling mixed a little bit with Left 4 Dead, and it's got maybe like a chivalry type element with the melee combat and weapons like guns and stuff too. So it's just hitting on all cylinders. It's got a leveling up system, a randomized loot by rolling dice at the end of levels. So just really good.
I think I agree with everything. I think the one reason why that game looks so good and performs so well is I don't know if you're up on their technology, but they're using the Umbra culling engine, which is basically, it's a new type of engine for culling when you're making a map, and it removes anything extra. So your video card doesn't have to draw anything extra. Most engines have this built in, but this specific company has a very good program that does this. And I was seeing like 60 frames a second rock solid at 1440p. And I was just sitting there playing it going like, this is all, I mean, it performs super well. There were a couple frame rate hitches here and there, but I couldn't tell if that was loading or not. And the combat's just completely like in your face.
Well, it's funny you bring up the GPU performance, because that's actually one of the things I've actually had issues with so far. So because it's still a beta right now, so I'm kind of giving them a pass until the 23rd at least, or hopefully we get a driver for this, because right now it's not supporting SLI, which is not
Gotcha.
I'm hoping it does support SLI, but at the very least, I would like to see full GPU utilization, because right now I'm getting like 60 frames, but sometimes I'm dropping to like 50 and 40, and it's not fully utilizing one of my GPUs. It's only using about 50 to 60% roughly, and just topping out right there. So it's not fully utilizing the card, and I'm not seeing a CPU bottleneck really for me, but it is using a lot of CPU and a lot of video memory. It's using like 70% of my 5820K, and if someone's out there running like a quad core, they might be hitting some walls there, especially on an i5 with no hyper-threading. So there are definitely some performance.
Well, you've got the i5 there. You should test it.
Yeah, I got it. I got to install it on before I do my review. Yeah. I will run it on the 970, because VRAM too is another one. I'm seeing over 4 gigabytes usage at 1440p, so it's using a lot of video memory and
definitely
a lot of CPU. It's pretty intense to run.
Yeah.
But it's really gory though too. There's a lot going on, and there's like fur and blood and shit going everywhere. I would have liked to seen something like Nvidia Flex, like on Killing Floor 2, but unfortunately we didn't get that. But it's pretty good though nonetheless. What's so funny, Brian?
Just Michael Weiss in the comments.
Oh, Michael Weiss. What's he saying?
Oh man.
All women are evil.
I agree. So.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Just a quick one here. Green Man Gaming has a big sale going on right now. So if I was thinking about doing this just because I was going to get Black Ops 3 anyway, it's reviewed for the channel. If I can get it for 27% off, then why not? And they also got GTA 5 bundled in with this, so you can save on that. So pretty good deals here over Green Man Gaming. I got a link in the description below to this article on DSOG, so you can get the coupon codes and all that. So just go ahead and check that out. Just a quick little mention for you guys, so you can save a little bit of money if you are picking up Black Ops 3. Going to this next one here, Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter, coming spring 2016 to PC. So I could tell you sound excited about this.
Yeah, I love those games.
They're great.
I mean, they are super awesome. Aside from the fact that they creep me out a little bit whenever you get up close to somebody's face and you see like their 10K texture for their face, and you're like, it looks like the surface of the moon. But other than that, no, they play really well. They're super enjoyable. I actually like all the voice actors in those titles, and they're one of the just really fun investigative game that doesn't bog you down. A lot of games sort of lose you in the gameplay department when it comes to investigations and stuff like that. And that one just seems to nail it, or their last one did at least.
Yeah. The first one was okay, but I thought the second one definitely kind of really brought the franchise forward, and I thought it finally got some notice from some press outlets. I don't think it was a massive success, but the critics at least liked it, and I didn't really find any major negative reviews out there about the game.
No, I like the movies. I mean, the movies have always been good, both the TV series and the Robert Downey Jr. movies as well. Really loved them. Yeah, I want to play a video.
This is definitely set it's definitely kind of like true to the novels and like very old school style. Like Sherlock Holmes, like what you would expect. So it's awesome. If you like that kind of investigating stuff and walking around sort of like LA Noir without the creepy faces.
Yeah.
So you want to
So,
move on to the tech? I can tell you're excited to get to this tech.
well, I mean, you guys can have your fun. I mean, this is a gaming week because we got a special guest whose opinions and heart lies in gaming. So, before we get onto the tech, is there anything you want to say about gaming?
No, that is it for gaming, Brian. You were acting weird this week, man.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm feeling good.
All right.
Like I said, Vegemite. It just does it for me.
Right.
I got some Vegemite in. Like, this is just in the last week. I ordered some Vegemite, been stacking that stuff on my toast, and it feels like a part of me that was missing has come back. So get Vegemite.
Well, is it hard to get that in Japan?
It's actually not. Like, there's a place that sells it for like $3 a bottle. So I was like, okay, that's me. I'll pay that.
All right. You want to move on to this first tech topic we got here with the laptop GTX 980s?
Yeah.
You
The
want to take this one away?
GT72 Dominator Pro. The reference. So it's looking like it's almost competing with a reference GTX 980, which is pretty damn good for a laptop. Like, wow. So, I mean, yeah, if you guys get a laptop and you're looking for one that will actually give you really good performance, then I think the MSI Dominator Pro is the way to go. I mean, it's pretty amazing how they've done what they've done with this laptop. But I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, my thoughts with laptops is always if you're a university student, you got to have a laptop. That's just my, or if you're doing any kind of studies, a laptop is just so good. But
Yeah,
I'm still desktop for life.
the gaming laptops I think are good for certain things, like if you are on the go, or if you ever need, like, if you do like the kind of stuff we do, if you ever need like a mobile editing station, something like that. Usually the gaming laptops are like the go-to thing because they usually have some of the better processors as well. And just having a good GPU on there doesn't hurt, I suppose. So having a desktop GPU on there is definitely good. It's getting less frames than a desktop reference card. So it's we got to wait and see. I think when we start seeing more laptops coming out and see if that's going to line up with all the laptops and if thermal throttling is going to be an issue. That was one of my major concerns when they announced this, was going to be thermal issues and whether they were going to actually be able to keep it running at those frames over extended gaming sessions with temperatures inside laptops getting up to like 90 Celsius. So it could be definitely tough in there, keeping that performance going over time. And they are already running less than a desktop GPU, even though it is supposedly a desktop GPU.
So,
All right, guys. Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
I know I'm watching the chat right now. Let's be honest.
This is a good thing because the 980s coming out in the laptops will mean that you could probably pick up a deal on a 970M or a 980M, and that's probably where I would go. Like, to be honest, I'd just save
I'm
your
happy
cash.
with my 980M.
Yeah, see, I'd probably just go with that because I mean you're going to be using less power.
I
have a
will
cool
say this
laptop.
though: do you guys agree that now, as they're getting more powerful, they're simply becoming a new form factor? To me, these laptops are so powerful that they are just another form factor of a desktop. It's just they include a attached monitor. Like at some point, we're getting the battery power. They barely last. You know, I have a 980. You can't. You know, you unplug that sucker and you try to do rendering or you try to do Warhammer Vermentide. It slows down, or your battery is going to last, you know, an incredibly short amount of time. I get the idea behind it, but I mean, hell, like that. I don't. You guys know more about this than me, but that one PC or the one laptop that has its own cooling center that's separate.
Yeah,
you know, that
Asus
came out.
One. Yeah, the Asus one. I got the water cooling.
At some point, it just feels like it just feels like another form factor to me. It's like it just feels like a desktop that somebody's glued a monitor to. Like a lot of the reasons for those has gone away, I guess. What I mean is a lot of the positives of laptops in the fight for power has actually gone away. Weight. I couldn't even take my laptop, you know, half of the places I wanted to go when I went to PAX because the damn thing, I'm not lying, that's the heaviest.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
there's that one that they put the mechanical keyboard on as well, that Titan one. That thing is ridiculously big.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and I like it. I think it's awesome. It also bodes well if you follow console tech, that the better the laptop tech, the better console tech will probably be because they usually steal some of that stuff. So that'll be cool. But I don't know. I mean, it's awesome that they can shove it in there. But what's the battery time? Has anybody said? What's the battery
60
time?
minutes or so. 60 minutes gaming. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah, even if you can keep performance. I remember I used to have a gaming laptop when I was like transitioning back into PC gaming from console. I bought a gaming laptop as my main gaming system. Unfortunately, it was really stupid. I spent like $1,700 on it, and I played it full time plugged in. and games ran pretty well. But then I went on vacation and I was like going to show my friends like, oh, here's some PC games, and I had it unplugged from the wall, and I was just like, man, these games are running like shit. What the fuck's wrong with my laptop? I was like, did they break it like on the way from on the plane or something? And then I plugged it back in, and I was like, oh, it's better now. It's like it's getting the power it needs, I guess.
Well, in 2005, I had a Veo. I got it for like dirt cheap in Japan. It was 17-inch. It had it was decent. I could play Warcraft 3 on that at university. Like when the lecture got boring, I was just like, boot up some Warcraft 3, play on the wireless. And I could play for a couple hours. So that was good. And that was like my experience with a laptop. It was like mobile. The battery lasted quite a while. And see, if I got a laptop again, I wouldn't want it to be a desktop. I just want it to be mobile. Battery lasts pretty long, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, I would probably be looking at that Broadwell. Like, if I got a laptop, I'd be probably looking at the Broadwell's iGPU because that'll go a huge mile when it comes to battery life. And your thermals won't be too bad as well.
Well,
or I'd be looking at an APU.
We're seeing the same thing in tablets, with the Tegra, and all of their changes to tablet technology, where things are. I mean, they don't run half as long as they used to. My original tablet runs for 8 to 12 hours. The new one I have is maybe 3 before.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a Tegra 4. It's one of the few that's out, and it's great. I think it's awesome if people want to do that, but it does start to feel like a form factor only now, and it's sort of the awesomeness of being able to jump on a laptop and mess around with it. And I don't think any of the new laptops doing the dual. They all still do the dual GPU, right? The onboard or
not all of them, but a lot. There's a lot of dual GPU cards. Dual GPU.
So there is still that. There is still that, which is cool. Yeah. I mean, they're throwing a bone. It's just damn, it's expensive,
Yeah, and plus a 980M SLI setup would definitely beat out this desktop 980 in the laptop for sure.
Right.
So that might be the better way to go, because it really depends on the pricing. If these desktop 980 ones are up around the same price as a dual 980M laptop, then it'd be worth it. Just go to the SLI system.
I'm really happy with my 980M.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll be upgrading from that for a long time.
Is that your primary like PC gaming rig, or do you have a desktop?
No, I have a desktop and 980 GTX, all that kind of stuff. But a pretty powerful desktop, super powerful desktop. I'm happy with that. The laptop was more for rendering video when I was out at PAX and GDC and and then occasional games when I don't play that many games on it, to be honest. I do a lot of actual work on it.
Yeah,
but
that's
the games
for,
I do. Yeah, and the games I do play are amazing. I mean, that is an awesome card. That 980M can play almost everything that I would want to throw at it. But
it's pretty much
heavy.
equivalent to like a desktop 970. So
it is, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just heavy.
Do we want to move
heavy
on to the DX12, like the Ashes of Singularity? So the Nvidia,
Yeah.
they posted they posted there's a Dutch site, computer-based DE, and Nvidia's latest drivers, 358.50, is like doing really well. I mean, they've got a massive increase there in FPS. So this is on the DX12 scenario. Now, we did cover the alpha, and I think it's fair for us to cover this as well, considering it's the other way around now, where Nvidia now on the 980 Ti side of things is beating the Fury X at DX12. So
yeah, now that they've had some time to basically get their drivers sorted out, because they said when it came out they needed a little time to get caught up, and they'd even asked them.
I mean, it's an alpha. That's what we were saying. It's an alpha. You got to give people a chance. Like, I don't know how many people were just ranting on like Nvidia's going to get absolutely crumbled in every DX12 title. It's like, no, there's still drivers that need to be optimized even on DX12, ladies and gentlemen. So this is one of those examples where they've got their stuff. They've optimized the driver, and now it's running really well. So, I mean, the good thing is, though, again, we're looking at that R9 390. We're going to keep looking at that versus the 970. It's really where my eyes look a lot of the time when we're comparing the two cards, because they're probably the two most popular cards out there. And yeah, you see that R9 390 still got a comfortable lead over the 970, which is good. So
yeah, and I think we expect that. I mean, it's the 390 usually ahead of the 970, pretty much everything.
Which is good. It's good news. Like, it's good to see
competition at that price.
Yeah, well, a solid recommendation. Like, I can actually start recommending R9 390s now, which is good. Like, I don't get what anyone said. I couldn't recommend an R9 290 over a 970 before. No way. Like from what I tested and when I did my benchmarks, the 290 like that I had here, it got slaughtered by the 970. That's, you know, that's just let's be honest, you know. But you know, the R9 390, it's looking like it's pounding the 970. So that's a good thing.
Yep, it's good at that like $350 price point. It's definitely, we're doing some wins there.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's, I mean, there's not much more to be said about that. I am watching a lot of DX12 benchmarks. Like every week I'm typing, you know, Google last 24 hours, last week, DX12 benchmarks. And
yeah, and this is, it's something we're going to have to continue to like keep looking back at because this is going to constantly change. It's, you know, it's a new API that you have to run on a new operating system with Windows 10. And there's new drivers being developed on new architectures with like with HBM and stuff from the Fury X. So there's a lot of new tech all coming together at the same time. So it's going to take a little while for it to get
speaking of Windows 10, this actually brings us into the next topic, the upcoming Windows 10 patch. It begs you, like, please guys, don't change browsers, don't stop using Edge. But I used Edge. Like Edge was okay. The problem is it was still buggy. That's the problem. Like I would use Microsoft shit if it wasn't buggy.
And if you could actually use extensions and add-ons.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, and all that jazz. Yeah, but like Microsoft, I don't know. Windows 10 just, like, I'm still running into bugs upstairs on my rig upstairs. Kind of like, I don't know. It just feels like this is more
I still haven't made the jump yet myself on my main rig, and I don't think I will. I've got it on my test system on there, but I like all of this like this kind of shit, like right here where every time I open up like Photoshop, it's going to say, hey, do you want to use Windows Photo Editor? Like, no, I really don't. I've got to be honest with you. I've got to be honest. I don't.
No, it's joking. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. I don't want to see fucking pop-ups, and when the Windows 10 already, the pop-ups annoy me. It'll like, oh, would you like to you need to update your antivirus. You need to update this, and there's that little things that come out in the bottom right corner. And it's like, could you go away? Like I know what needs to happen. It's my computer. It's just it all feels noobified, and like for people that aren't like power users, I guess. And
it's just
then
annoying,
the power users get hassled by all this shit that we don't need prompts for.
They should just, like, that's what I mean. We're being honest. They should be honest. They should just say, look, guys, don't stop using this program because we want to just get a bit more data mining happening here. So please don't stop using this program so we can mine you again. You know, please don't. We need to know when you're shopping, what time you're shopping. We need to know what time you're going on Amazon. We need to know all that so we can make some more money off you.
Yeah, I love this, the picture they used up at the top here for the header. Windows 10, we finally fixed everything. The plane with the wheels and everything all in the wrong direction. That definitely seems like the Windows mentality when they come out with stuff. It's like, yeah, hey guys, we fixed everything, but we put it together the wrong way. Sorry.
You know, I've been saying this. Did I say this before? But I think with Windows 10, they need to give the option of charging whatever, $100 for a copy of Windows 10 minus all the crap.
I'll pay that.
You know, yeah, exactly right. I'd pay that minus the invasive
enterprise editions
privacy. Yeah, that's what I mean. They need to release a copy that just has all this crap gone. You know, sharing updates. I don't want to share freaking updates. What, I start sharing an update while I'm playing a game in a clutch situation? I die because of Microsoft? No, I don't want that to happen. So give us just offer an edition of Windows that's, you know, crap free, and I'll pay money for it. Like, I don't care, you know.
Yeah,
uncomplicate my life.
Just like in the past when we've had like pro version enterprise editions, just put out something like that where we have more options, more control over it, and it's not all of this extra warning stuff. Are you running Windows 10 yet, Carrick? Or
no? Well, I have it on a test system because some games I'm sure
they're going to
start forcing it. But I'm not a big fan of it. I don't worry too much about privacy. Number one, I say what I mean all the time. People know my real name. So like some of this crap that if they track your shopping, all they're going to find out is I really like airsoft. So in the end, it's not going to bother me too much. But for people where it does, I hate it. I mean, some of the stuff that Windows always adds every single time just seems, I swear to God, they fail on purpose sometimes. Sometimes you look at their OS updates and you're like, you had to have. No one intelligent would have sat in a room, a bunch of people in a meeting room without somebody raising their hand and saying, this is the most effed up idea that we've had today. Let's not do it. But instead, they keep putting it in there. And
so for me, like if this is where my biggest concern.
Anyway.
So, well, this is the thing where my concern comes in with Windows 10 is like, because I I can power use hard. Like I'll be browsing like 20 different tabs, probably playing a game or editing a video all at the same time. And if I do that on Windows 10, it kind of feels in some ways that it's cloud-based, the OS.
Yeah, right.
Windows 8 is just snappy as hell. Like I can just go here and here and here. And sometimes Windows 10, I'll come into a hiccup. And that pisses me off because,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's called an upgrade, not a downgrade.
Right.
And that's what constitutes a downgrade is things hicking up and slowing down. That's what I'm pissed off with Windows 10. Yeah. And so and I'm sure it's got something to do with all this privacy and data mining. That's just my gut feeling. So give us the edition that's just cut down for power users. I don't want this crap. I would pay money because, I don't want to be sitting here wasting my freaking time on a crap OS. I'd just go out and work and make $100 to pay for my OS. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to downgrade. It's like going from, going back and playing on a Nintendo. Like a lot of the games I just can't play. Mega Man I can. I love Mega Man. But, as you upgrade, it's kind of like upgraded syndrome. You can't, I don't know, it just really bugs the crap out of me if I go back down to something that's worse. So, but that's my biggest concern with the Microsoft Windows 10. So...
Yeah, it's before we move on, I'll just say that this is basically the kind of stuff that I keep hearing that basically, holds me back from upgrading. Like the people were saying like, "Oh, I hear it's getting better." And then you see something like this and you're like, "Well, I'm just going to have to wait now another month and see what happens with this." Cuz it just hasn't gotten any better. It just keeps adding on more things that I don't like, and this is just another one of them. So, yeah, I'll keep using it on my test system until I am absolutely forced to basically for Gears of War.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'm
keeping it on there.
Once we have an actual date on Gears of War, which I wish they would give to us already. It's like just give us a hint. I just want to know if it's 2015 at least. Just let me know so I can
give us a taste.
I just want to know if it's this year so I could stop wondering if it's going to be this year. That's
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Well, that sucks.
No.
Well, Intel, do you want to move into Intel gets into memory? So this is actually, I think this is a smart idea from Intel. And in ways, I'm concerned with Intel because, look at the recent release of Skylake, man. If they keep releasing chips like that, they're going to be up shit creek themselves, not just AMD in the CPU department. They're going to be up shit creek because they're not going to be selling many chips. Why are people going to be upgrading if they're only getting a 5% increase and the power consumption isn't even that lower? So, it makes sense for them to start branching into things like memory and whatever they can get into. I'm sure they're going to have a look at getting into it because that's what they're going to go. They're going to make money. At the end of the day, they're going to make profit. And so they've stepped up. They're making an investment. They're overhauling one of their Chinese plants and they're going to start $3.5 billion. Man, that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
I know there's someone in the comments to be like, why don't they take over AMD with that money? But yeah, Intel. I don't think Intel can acquire AMD.
Either do I. Yeah.
Well, you think they're going to go like desktop memory or memory for storage chips, basically for like SSDs and stuff? Because they're talking here about like 3D NAND a little bit, which is
I think they're going to use. Well, they've already got 3D NAND. I think they're going to use that and start getting into memory cards and stuff because there's a huge market for professional.
Yeah, there's a massive market.
It's huge, man. Like camera gear and stuff like that. Like. They should be getting into that. Yeah,
which needs improvement right now. Anyway, there's a lot of improvement to be had in those markets.
Absolutely.
And especially with the if you look at Intel, they do have a good track record when it comes to reliability. And that's what professional photographers want. I know that firsthand. They don't want a memory card that, if you have a memory card that fails on you, shit, that could potentially cost you a whole freaking job.
Reliability and speed, that's the big things.
And so... this makes a perfect sense to me, and I'd love to see Intel get into it and make some good value and bring competition to the market here.
My wife's a photographer, and it's the number one thing we always. I mean, she's always worried about it because yes, you could lose a job. I do know people who've lost jobs due to a failure. So that's exactly what they need to do is get in there and improve it. There's a lot of competition that can be done there. A lot of improvement.
And with right fail protection, they could have some good they got a lot of budget here. They could really step up things and bring in things that other people aren't doing as well. So it's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do here. So
Yeah, so
with
am I.
that being said, you guys want to move into Zen? AMD Zen and the K12 designs are completely taped, like they're finished, taped out. Like I was kind of worried. I was like, they're taped out. What? They're stopping this? But no, they're on track for 2016. The problem is it's Q4. Like, damn, how like we've been waiting for Zen for ages, and kind of Q4 2016. I mean, Kaby Lake should be out by then from Intel. It's like
I think it's just another year basically
This
on
timing.
basically another year on 8350s and 9590s, man. Another year on
Yeah.
that architecture. Just jeez.
I'm really looking forward to Zen, but it's like it just keeps getting delayed. Like, what was it? First off, it was going to be Q1, like Q4 2015. Then it's Q1 2016. Now it's Q4 2016. It's like, come on, boys, let's hurry up and get this architecture out because they really need it. And honestly, man, I would love to try out a new AMD motherboard, a new AMD CPU.
Me too.
You just have a new experience. Like, I'm sick
awesome.
of being like on this freaking Skylake. Skylake was fun for like a day, and then I got bored of it. Like,
That's
I don't
because
know, I just
you
want
got a
something-
5820K in the other room calling your name.
I know that. I know I've
It's
got the
the
5820K
that's the
here,
that's the king, man. That's the king processor.
but
right now.
I would love to try like just something new, and I'd love to see new recommendations. Every time I recommend a mid-range or a high-end CPU now,
always the
like,
same
okay,
thing.
yeah, it's like, okay, you can get a 1231 V3 Xeon, or you can get a 5820K, or you can get on the low end side of things an i3. It's like I'm freaking sick of it. Like I just wanted to, okay, you can get a Zen. Like that's legit option now. I'd love to see that.
We need an exciting new architecture that's doing something different, really pushing
Yep.
it forward by like I would say at least twofold. Like we need a big leap forward from something.
Well, honestly, as I said before, it doesn't have to beat Intel. If it comes within spitting distance of Intel, then I will start recommending it because, it's something that's new, and if it does represent better value for money, then I'll recommend it for sure. So they've got a new, like they're just dropping down the node a ton. Like what are they going down to? 14 or 16 nanometer? 14 nanometer, I think it is.
That was
FinFET?
14. It is 14.
Yeah, so that's crazy. Like, I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully, they got the architectural improvements in there too that make this just a heavy hitter.
Contender of some kind.
Yeah, at least a
Because right
contender.
now
of
they
some
don't have
kind, yeah.
anything. That's the problem.
Yeah.
just-
Well, I mean,
I kind of also I expected this maybe a little bit sooner since we just had that departure from Jim Keller, and he was really the driving force behind this.
Right.
So I thought that they were a lot closer to finishing it than it seems like they are now since we got to wait another year.
You thought he was leaving because pretty
Well,
much done. And
I figured he was going to be moving on, and he was basically waiting to finish his work with this architecture.
Sure.
That was kind of my. I was kind of making that assumption. Yeah.
well, I think that's the word on the street is he's
that
finished
was-
up, so it's.
is
he's
this
got
all
nothing
because
more to contribute.
because they have a problem with fab processes itself? I mean, why does it take them so much longer?
Oh, dude, they've got to do quality control, that crap. Like, they've got to make sure if they release a CPU, they got to make sure that every CPU pretty much that's coming out isn't a dud.
Yeah,
they got to.
and a lot of these die shrinks, they've been having a lot of issues every time.
Oh, they
for the
definitely have.
Like when they drop down, like okay, the next one's gonna be 20 nanometer up. We got a lot of issues. 20 nanometer, we have to wait another 6 months, and then it's gonna be 14 nanometers. So.
Intel had huge issues with getting Broadwell out. That was the truth.
Yeah.
As much as no one really reported on it, they had some big problems with Broadwell, and that's why we didn't see Broadwell come out in 2014.
14.
Because they just had some huge problems with the node shrink there and actually getting the yields. See, that's what it's all about. Like I said this before, if you release a CPU on 14 nanometer and it can't get up to 4 gigahertz like the previous architecture, then who the fuck's going to buy it?
Yeah,
like,
right.
you know what I mean? So that's what they have to work out, right? Is their actual, not just their efficiency, but also the yields. So it's a huge part in when they release CPUs. So anyway, like, I mean, yeah, they probably are taking their time to get out a good product, but the problem is AMD really don't have time at the moment. That's the problem. Like, they're just getting pounded.
They're on the last leg, man. That last deal fell through. They're on the last couple of $1 billion they have, and that's it.
Yeah, well, they're getting pounded. Like, I remember people were like, oh, man, they got like over $1 billion on cash on hand. No, last report I looked at, they've only got like 750 million cash on hand now. And that's dwindling.
And
so
what were they at the start of 2015? So if we look at how much they lost in 2015, how can they even make it a full year in 2016 before.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know. It depends on, like, their revenue is dropping a lot and whatnot. So they really need to come into the market. I've said this before. They really need to get these things out like as soon as they can, and just start hitting on all cylinders. Because at the moment, it's like they're only running on one cylinder. It's like they're freaking.
I think they also need to make moves to try to get their processors into the new Nintendo consoles as well, because I know Nintendo's making a push for a new console. If they can actually do that and make some money this time, unlike basically just giving it away at cost like they did on the PS4 and Xbox One, make some money.
That's true.
Nintendo's I already saw something recently where Nintendo's looking to do that, doing something new already. So.
Well, apparently they're getting, like, people are interested in their K12 on the server market or something. So that's really good news. Like, if they can really branch in and get into different markets and start getting profit back, that'd be really good. Yep. So I'm hoping for the best with AMD, because I know what they're capable of doing. They're capable of pulling rabbits out of hats, So hopefully they do it this time with Zen.
Yeah, we got our next one here too is also AMD based. This is about the graphics cards, where they are basically promising twice the performance per watt of current offerings. So it basically sounds like they're kind of going like the Maxwell route here on the next gen architectures, trying to optimize for power a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like they're hopefully it has 2 times performance per watt. So that's in 2016. They're dropping down the node on the FinFET, and yeah, I mean, this looks good. Obviously, you got to take this with a grain of salt, right? We don't know what Pascal or Arctic Islands will be capable of, but when they both hit the market, at least it's looking like it's going to be another round of good competition, which is what I like. I love competition. Like, I love it on the CPUs, love it on the GPUs, because it's not just for me. It's not just like, okay, we got the value. It's just the options. We've got options. We can choose how we want to make our PCs. You know what I mean? It's what brings excitement. And this is what I was like. I just recently built, I'm going to go back to my little 2.1 speaker system here, but that's what makes this fun, is that you can pick and choose different components and you can make your own things. And that's why I was kind of a little bit bored with PCs, is because on the CPU side of things, we've only got Intel pretty much to choose if you want good performance. So it sucks.
They're a lot more competitive on the GPU side, at least.
Yeah,
a lot more competitive. So. They're always in recent years they've always kind of been just trailing behind. But I think when both sides release their architectures around the same time and they're both pushing out HBM2, that's going to be when it's like, okay, let's see who's really going to pull ahead now, and who's going to really take that crown.
Yeah. So I'm really hopeful. I hope 2016 is the year of AMD. I hope it is, because I know there's just so many people that will get behind it if they do. Because look, I'm running Intel and Nvidia at the moment, and I'm not exactly proud of this thing. It's like, it gets the job done. It gives me a good gaming experience, and that's it. In ways, if I had an AMD system, I'd kind of be like, yeah, the underdog is getting on top again. So I don't know. For some reason, I would support AMD if they got, maybe even be a little bit biased.
They'll have to be the best for me.
Just because they're the underdog.
Well, no, if they want me to buy their products, they have to be the best. Even if underdog or not, they just have to put out the best product.
For me, it's not the best for me, as long as, if they can get that 40% instructions per clock boost that they're promising on the Zen cores. That's good enough. That's good.
That would make it competitive that would make it at least competitive on the per thread performance with Intel.
Exactly. And then I'd start recommending it if they're good value. Damn. And then in the GPU side of things, if they can get this, I mean, if it's 2 times is a lot to ask for. To be honest, I do have to put out my concern. 2 times energy efficiency, wow. That's a big ask.
It wouldn't really surprise me if they're doing that and they're moving on from GCN, or if they've if they're going to roll out GCN again and really optimize it, since they've been using it forever. I think it's about time that they start optimizing and getting a little bit better efficiency out of it for power usage anyway.
Exactly. I'd like to see that too. But I mean, GCN, it kind of makes sense for them to keep going with GCN, because it's already on pretty much all their GPUs. Driver optimization is a lot easier if you're only on one architecture. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to add to this, Carrick?
No, I actually just like listening to all the tech speak. When it comes down to it, I mean, I know that I get what he's saying when it comes down to being a little bit biased towards the underdog. I have to buy the best I can just because I'm reviewing. But when it comes to what I would rather, I did sort of grow up on AMD, or at least, well, like I said, I'm
Same
old,
here,
so I actually grew up on Cyrix and Intel at the time. I mean, we're talking ages ago. So I'm always a big fan of getting the most out of the least. So if I love, because I used to put together PCs, and that was the major thing. Is I sold PCs out of the home for years, and I loved it because there was always something new or unique you could put together as a combination. And when you got it right, if somebody needed a rendering system, it was different than if they needed a PC gaming system, or it was different if they had this amount of money or that amount of money. And now, in all honesty, it's one of the reasons why a lot of people will say, what type of PC would I get or whatever? And I'm like, you know what, just go to this place and put one together, because it's become so homogenized, and it's like everything is just Intel or Nvidia. And I get that there's some AMD, but you're talking to somebody who liked a ATI. Like I had an ATI 850 LE, which you could actually upgrade by using a graphite pencil and go on to the actual video card.
It's just fun.
Cadiz and I did that. I love messing around with hardware and getting into it. There is no messing around right now. None. I go in, I know exactly what I want frame rate wise, I know exactly what works with what, I put it together, and that's life. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of
me too. I'm
cracking open my motherboard and saying, like, I want this thing to do what I want it to do. And right now PCs don't feel personalized anymore. I think that's why you see a growth in the special case market, because that's the only way some kid, and I'm not being rude to anybody, I'm saying some kid, even myself, if I was young, I'm like, I'm going to get one with a cool sticker, because in the end, we all have the same damn CPU. We all have the same damn GPU. So I can't wait for AMD to, like, even if it's not as powerful. Cadiz, by the way, the guy on my channel who does some of the walkthroughs, he has an AMD still. And I sort of love that. I sort of like that, there's something else out there. So I can't wait to see him release it. I'm sad that it's 2016. I mean, Christ.
Yeah, that's what I mean now.
That's 2 years. That's to us. I'm not saying it's truly 2 years, but I'm saying within the game market and the processor market, that feels like 2 or 3 years, not just, quarter. I mean, so much stuff is going to change by now. By that point,
that's what I said. You're going to have Cabby Lake as well.
Yeah, you're going to have. Yeah, so it becomes this issue where we actually don't exactly know what everybody else is going to be doing at that point, and I don't want them to get lapped. I want them to at least be in the race. Right now, they showed up for the wrong race. Like, everybody else is over here, and they're over here going, "Where's everybody?"
Well, no, they showed up halfway through the race. Everyone's already taken off. So
yeah. I can't wait. I want another Cyrix out there running
exactly
around.
Right. So what we got at the moment is, like, this is how board PC enthusiasts are getting. They're releasing SSD water blocks. Like, that's how
exactly. That's how board customization is getting.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to release it. Yeah. An SSD water block. I'll buy it, man. I'm just bored to my brains. Give me something. But yeah, we want to move on to this. Western Digital is going to acquire SanDisk for $19 billion, cash and stock deal. So this is huge news, because I never knew Western Digital had that much money.
Well, dude, they keep just pulling in. They got HGST, Hitachi's hard drives already. But there's HGST are putting out, like, literally the most reliable mechanical drives right now that you can get, and I've got 4 terabytes in my system, one in redundancy, so they are super reliable. But they're still doing their own mechanical hard drives. Western Digital just basically acquired them in name, but it's still under HGST, and it's like HGST by Western Digital. So at least they're letting these companies still do their things and do what they want.
I mean, I've always used Western Digital drives. Like, I haven't had one fail on me. So, like, I'm surprised. 19 billion, that's a huge amount of money. I know there's someone in the comments probably asked, why didn't they acquire AMD?
Here's the thing. Is some of that money because of their deals with the console manufacturers for pack-in hard drives? Is Western Digital in either one of the Sony or Microsoft?
What's this? Sorry?
Well, I was just wondering if their money's coming from deals like in being in consoles, because selling large
maybe amounts. I thought Seagate was in the PS4.
I thought it was Seagate as well, but that's such a huge amount of money. I was wondering if maybe I was wrong on who was.
It's not like the huge amount of money would come in servers, man. I know Google uses Western Digital. I know that for a fact. Gotcha. Yeah, so that you just look at server market. Whoever's using the hard
Yeah.
drives in the server market is going to be making the big bucks. And I'm pretty sure Western Digital dominate the server market. So, yeah, money, money, money. So that's what
Yeah,
they've
for
got.
sure.
And so, I mean, I'm interested to see where they take this. Obviously, like, I'm not really looking forward to getting a memory card and having Western. It'd just be a weird feeling. Okay, I'm going to put this Western, Digital SD card in my camera. No, but they'll keep
Use
using
a
the
Sharpie and
SanDisk
draw
name.
over it.
No,
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not going to change. They'll keep using the SanDisk name just because of the reputation they already have there.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. To
I'll
see,
probably
like,
I'll probably be using my current SD card for another 5 years. I got a Kingston sent me a 512 gigabyte SDXC card. That thing is stupid fast and
I
stupid
didn't
big.
even know they had. I didn't even know they had that much.
Yeah, they got 512
Storage on
gigabyte
it.
SDXC cards, man. I was like, yeah,
Sheesh.
I'll take that.
Could use that thing as a boot drive.
I'll put that straight in my basket.
Yeah, I'll put that in my basket. So I was going to put in another topic, actually, the Intel, because we've got a little bit of time now, so we've finished up with the topics. Do you guys, if people want to ask questions, go ham on the keyboard in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen.
Before we move into that, I think there's one thing we have to at least mention is the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer. I think we owe that to people to at least bring that up.
I
So-
watched it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the dark side has to offer this time. The dark side looks wicked. I'm looking forward to seeing.
Oh man,
what the
Kylo Ren looked fucking badass.
Yeah, like they look badass. Like I'm looking to see the Jedis this time get smoked. I hope they just get pounded. Even though I hope Han Solo stays alive though. That's all.
I hope all of them stay alive.
Can't kill off Han Solo.
I'm not ready to see people die. I don't think I'm ready for.
No,
I don't
but
think I'm ready for that.
No, I was watching that. I was like, the dark side just looks badass, man. Like, wow.
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
whole first order stormtroopers and all that lining up, everything, man, it looks awesome. Just everything they're doing with this film looks great, and their trailers have been good too because they've been just kind of feeding us little trinkets of information, but not giving away the full story. But I feel like after watching this trailer, like I have a general idea of what the story is going to be, but we don't know for sure because they're not just saying, "Oh, here's everything," like a lot of other movies do with their trailers. They just say, "We pretty much told you the entire plot of the movie at this point." There's a lot of questions up there. I got. Did you guys get your tickets? I got mine at day one. I can't wait.
I haven't bought it yet. I got to get onto that. I got to find out which cinema I'm going to here because there are some really shit cinemas here. Like I didn't even know how they get away with calling themselves cinemas here. Like you go there and it's like, what is this place? It's like a 1980s freaking. You can smell tobacco coming off the freaking chairs still. You know, they clearly haven't spent any money upgrading the cinemas. But I got to find out which cinema I'm going to, and yeah, then I'm going to get my tickets for there. And I'm going to go like, I don't even know. I've got a cape here still. Like I've got a dark side cape. So I don't know about. I think I sold all my lightsabers because they skyrocketed in price. Like I had these Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 2 lightsabers that I bought for like $80 and they went up to $600. So I was like,
the metal
sell,
ones. Yeah,
sell,
I've got
sell,
one of those.
sell. Yeah, so I was just like, sell. Hell, even my used one, I got like $400 for. I was like, yeah, payday. So, like, yeah, I actually had a heap of lightsabers, but I sold them all. So I'm not gonna be. I don't think I'll be going out with a lightsaber, but
Yeah, I still have my red Anakin one, even though I hated Anakin in those movies. But the lightsaber looks badass, and I'm planning on buying one of the nicer like $100 Kylo
you
Ren
hated
ones.
Anakin. I liked him, man. I liked Anakin.
Oh my god, fuck that.
No, I didn't like his acting. I thought it was okay.
Dude, all of them, they were the first one was especially bad. Like, it's working.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
kid-
yeah, the kid.
That
yeah.
kid was awful. Hayden Christensen
Yeah.
was just his acting sucked the life out of those movies. It was so horrendous.
I enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed episode 3.
I can't.
Like, I thought 2 and 1 were mediocre, but I liked.
I thought 3 was actually fairly good, but Hayden Christensen, he's okay. But George Lucas, his idea of directing is saying, and everybody has stated this very clearly, that he will let you do one take and walk off. That is his. I mean, that is totally solidly his fault on a lot of that. I mean,
I agree.
We know because we saw those actors do an excellent job, but when you have Obi-Wan Kenobi running around, and even his lines suck, then you have to start looking at the director and the people who are putting it together. And I mean, come on, like that guy, I don't know what had happened. There's rumors that once he adopted those kids and stuff like that, his life changed, his ideas of Star Wars as a whole changed. Yeah, it changed to shit. So I mean, not to be rude, but like his ideas, he should never have made those prequels. He should have had the guy who did Empire Strikes Back, because he was willing to do those movies, and they didn't use him.
I can't.
Yeah,
believe
well,
the names escape me right now. I can't. But I can't.
It would have been great.
Ewan
go
McGregor
ahead.
carried episode 3. Like,
He
I
did.
loved him.
He did, but I mean, sometimes you wonder if he carried it in the way where he just didn't listen to George Lucas and did his own shit. Like, I mean, George had lost his ability, and that's fine. Directors do that. I think also George Lucas is probably really tired of Star Wars. Not to be rude, we're not, right? Because we're not.
Yeah.
You know, we live it in the movies, but that guy was living it. I mean, every single second of his life. That's sort of a buzzkill. Even as, you know, we talk about it as when you review, people are like, wow, you get to play games. After about a week, you're like,
I feel sorry for Hayden Christensen. I mean, I've watched his movies. I've enjoyed his movies. I don't know why. Like, other movies he's done too. I thought there was this really bad one where they eat the shadows or something, but I blame that on a low budget. But I mean, I've seen some of his other movies, and I've enjoyed a majority of his movies.
Jumper was good. Jumper
was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So I was like, okay, like, how bad can he be? I mean, yeah, I feel sorry for him. I think he's copped a lot of unnecessary hate in ways, you know.
And speaking of lightsabers, do you guys, I build my own. I was bored one day, so I taught myself some soldering. Custom saber shop, if you guys get a chance. I go there. I've spent way too much money at that place. I think I have like 11 sabers. A fan actually bought me one and sent me, and that's what got me into making my own. It's fun.
Well, see, I've been watching the mods, and there's some. I want one that just glows lights your whole house up. So, like, I would be interested in building one of them.
Well, the great thing is you can do that. There's some warnings and, you know, battery life and stuff. But with the new battery technology is actually what allowed the lightsabers to sort of make the jump, because they're using LiPo and all those crazy things. And man, I'll tell you what, it's fun. It's fun to go, and you can put together your own, you know, whatever you want. I mean, if you're a fan of, you know, like Anakin's specific lightsaber, you can do that as well. But I sort of like to mess around and put my own together. I think it's some sort of cool to do on the side.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I love that Marty McFly day yesterday. You guys are living it today. Yeah, you guys are living it today.
Hey, you're already in the future, man.
Yeah, I'm in the
Back
future.
to the future,
man.
day.
Oh, man, I really hope they make a new trilogy for
Nope.
I reckon, like, just a new, different. Like, I think that guy from Entourage, he could do it.
Nope. It's not going to happen anyway. They've already said it's not happening. And I'm glad that they are sticking to that. They said it would be in poor taste to do one without Michael J. Fox. And it would also be in poor taste to write him out or write his Parkinson's into it. Like, that would just be grim. Like, what are they going to say? Oh, from all of the years spent time traveling, Marty McFly has been taken over with Parkinson's.
No,
the adverse effects of time traveling.
McFly's kid brother. That's what we're taking on a new storyline.
They have pretty much said over their dead bodies, will they do a reboot to that or anything like that?
Of course, they said that about Ghostbusters for years, even though Ghostbusters isn't connected with one person like Back to the Future. But they said that about Back to the Future too, or they said that about Ghostbusters too. And now we have Ghostbusters.
We'll pretty much have to wait until like 25 years after Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis die. That's our best chance.
It's probably written in their will that says you guys have to wait another 15 years after I die before you guys can mess with my shit. Yeah, I would rather have them not do that as well.
So what do we got for questions?
I haven't seen any questions, but
but
before we get out of here, you wanted to talk about the Greenlow motherboards, though. I got it.
Like, this looks cool. Like, the Xeon is at the 1231 V5. The Skylake Xeon will be announced, and I think it was at $250. They're going to release the 3.4 gigahertz version. Now, if the motherboards are cheap, like if you can get a cheap motherboard, that's where the value is going to lie with Skylake, just like Haswell with the 1231 V3. So I know there's a lot of guys out there who don't want to record videos and don't want to showcase their rigs. And if you guys are looking for the best value, then Xeon plus a cheap motherboard is usually the way to go. You know, like, I'm a big fan of it. You know, when I build my friends' computers, I always recommend like 1231 V3, man, B85 motherboard, DDR3. Save yourself a couple of $100. And not only that, save yourself some power on the power bill, you know? So because like a lot of my friends usually we either live in Oz or we live in Japan, and it's like power here is stupid expensive. So you've actually got to factor it in. It's actually something that you don't want to just overlook and go, no, I'm like 5 cent kilowatt hour, man. I'm got no problems. It's not like that. No, it's like literally here it's 35 cents a kilowatt hour. It's actually a joke, you know. And I said to my brother, he turned on like this 1,000-watt heater. I said, you do realize in 3 hours you're using up $1. Like that's the reality of just using a freaking heater. So that's just crazy how expensive power is in some parts of the world. So. But yeah, like you got the Greenlow motherboards coming out, and I gotta say, like, if this is how you're gonna do a green PCB, this is how you should do it. You know,
Ugly
like it just
as
looks
hell.
old school. Like, I mean, it's so ugly. It's so ugly that it looks good.
It's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's retro. Definitely retro.
that's it. So it's so ugly, it looks good. Now this is what I'm liking. So just look at that, marvel that.
I just want to say that rightmost SATA 6 gigabit connector is crooked a little bit.
Well, I'd like to see a little bit more rainbow here. I thought they could have the bottom black, for example, they could have made like yellow, and that would have made this like just way more appealing. Just rainbow, the rainbow motherboard, and that would just be cool.
Oh shit!
Not in a gay way, just like, you know.
They got Back to
like
the
just-
Future in the movies tonight. Oh, shit. I'm sitting here looking at
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here looking at Fandango. I wanted to go see Bridge of Spies tonight. I want to go see.
Well, I
Bridge
mean,
of Spies.
someone put in the comments, I could do an 18p KFC bucket. Like I did a 6-piece last night. Like I love a 6-piece feed from KFC.
Cool.
So,
Some chicken. I think I'm having chicken for dinner. So as soon as we get out of here,
KFC
I'm gonna have
bucket
some
of chicken, brother.
I think we're having Popeyes.
Comment section is just quiet today. We got like almost like 80 viewers, live viewers. So ask some questions, guys. Is there any tech questions that are on your mind? Because we're gonna boot out soon if there's nothing.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions for us or for Carrick, anything about gaming or tech wise, whatever, before we go and get out of here, fire your questions into chat.
Yeah. So before I have to get ready to go, I gotta put my shirt on and my suit and tie on and stuff. So, and I gotta finish my Vegemite.
You gotta finish that Vegemite, man. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
You still haven't given us the suit yet for the show, man.
Okay, all right. Well, that will come next week then. Okay, can I promise you guys suit and tie? Who wants to see a suit and tie next week? You guys want to see that?
They've been saying it for weeks, man.
Okay.
They've been saying
Well, I know
it for weeks.
Poovy, he wants to see the suit and tie.
Definitely.
It'll happen. And 2.1 speaker system, baby, $20.
All right. Well,
All right, there you go. High end.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you now, man. If you heard this thing, you would be surprised. Like legit, it poops all over my Logitech Z4 upstairs, and that's like that was like an $80 system.
Oh, gotcha.
Back in the day too, and it's pooping on everything, man. I tell you what, this thing's gonna go head to head with some $200-$300 sound systems,
So is
blind tests.
Is Vulkan a threat for Windows 10? I think you mean
Vulkan is thread for Windows 10. I mean, it could be if Windows.
No?
Yeah, I mean DX12. I mean, it could be if the Microsoft keep freaking stuffing up and doing crap stuff.
Especially if Vulkan's backwards compatible with like Windows 7 and Windows 8, that could definitely, if it's, that could be good.
What would be? That's a good question, Mum. For us, what would be the best thing for AMD to focus on to regain revenue the fastest? I would say stop focusing on the APUs, man. Like they have to get back into their CPUs and GPUs. I would say more so the CPUs and trying to get their hands in the server market. To be honest, let's be honest, they need to get some of that fat server cash. So I would say they need to focus on CPUs more so than GPUs. To be honest.
Yeah.
Because the GPUs, they're still competing. Obviously, they need to focus on both, right? They need to compete with both. They're both huge markets.
Yes.
But I'd say at the moment they're getting the most of their hammerings coming from the CPU market.
Yeah, so you want to do one more question from Gareth? He wants to know our favorite game so far this year. So I guess we can go around with that if we want to go around. Carrick, what's your favorite game so far this year?
I'm going to have to make sure that when I say this, that it's with a big caveat. It's because I'm married, so that changes some things. But the biggest change for me, people are just going to be like, "What is Skylanders?"
Skylanders.
The Skylanders superchargers, dude. It's like Mario Kart mixed with. Did you guys ever play Gauntlet? when you were kids?
Oh, yeah.
Gauntlet, Wizard
That game
Warrior.
was awesome, yeah.
It's basically the ability to play that kind of game, but it also has like a Mario Kart mixed in with it. And as a family game, it's blown me away. And it's cheap compared to the old, Toys Come to Life genre. Like, it's the cheapest of all of them. Because I jumped into Disney, Infinity, jumped into Lego. So it's cool to see a game actually feel worth it price-wise in that genre. Because that genre has never felt like it's worthy of price. But actually, true best game, honestly, right now, Vermintide Vermintide's probably the most amount of insane fun that I've had just jumping into any title this year. Where you jump in and you just start playing. The bot AI is excellent, and the gameplay is just awesome. So right now, I would say Vermintide is coming very close to being like my game of the year.
Yeah, I would definitely line up with that.
What
that
about
game
you?
looks
What about
awesome.
you, Joe?
I mean, right now, I'd say it's probably Witcher 3. I guess it's kind of like the give me, like I have to give it to you, but I also really like Rocket League, man. Rocket League has just come out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
It's been
Rocket League is good. Yeah,
absolutely amazing game. Like,
I'm going to give it to Wolfenstein. Yeah, I mean,
that's a year old.
Well, it doesn't matter. I played it this year.
You just played it this year.
Yeah, I played it this year. So therefore,
called Space
it's
Harrier?
this year. Well, that's it. Hey, man, Mega Man 3 on the Nintendo Entertainment
There you
System.
go.
Best game of 2015, brothers.
Well, I'm glad.
Now,
I'm glad that at least I recommended your best game for this year. That's good.
Yeah, well, I really liked the storyline. It was cool to just go into a different, like a Back to the Future thing where things changed, and then you're in this future where it's just completely different because of one event. And that's what I like. Like, I really think that's cool.
And it was
So
backed up by incredibly good gameplay.
Gameplay, graphics, the ragdoll physics. Everything was good in that game.
It was.
I didn't
solid.
like the choice though. Like, one thing I didn't like was that choice. Like, it didn't matter which one you choose. Like, the story didn't really change at all. The if you spoiler alert, but when you choose between who dies at the start,
Oh,
like you choose the old dude or the young guy, it didn't really make a difference. This is just like the end. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil too much, but
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool, man. We're gonna go ahead and I guess wind it down here and get on out of here. I don't know. Maybe, do you think we should give them the intro one more time, even though it's the outro? We can give it to them anyway, just because we want to.
it's the same. Intro is outro, man.
The intro is the outro. We don't have an outro yet. Brian's gonna get on that this week now.
Okay, guys. I'm a PC peasant. Yeah, everyone's going peasant. I'm a peasant. Yes, me lord.
Yes,
so
my
we'll go, righto. So we'll go. Yeah, we're gonna drop out of Tech Gaming Weekly, and don't remember. I mean, actually, don't forget. See, it's still morning time. I'm still like hungover from being sleepy.
That's how it is every week, man. You just gotta get on here and get some coffee and some Vegemite, and then you're good to go.
Exactly. The Vegemite is like.
The
fuel.
TG Dubs. The TG Dubs is legit. So you got to tell your friends. You got to tell your sister, and if she's single, tell her I'm single. Tell your mum if she's single, tell her I'm single. Tell your grandma. Yeah, fuck it, why not? If she's single, tell her I'm single. About Tech Gaming Weekly.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week, and thanks again for Carrick helping us out and joining this week.
Problem. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks,
awesome
man.
to have you on.
All of his channel details are down in the description below, so check that out. Subscribe to him, and just sit back and wait for your subscription feed to get populated with amazing reviews. I'm sure there'll be many of them coming soon. And we'll catch you guys next week. Ta-da.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
You really rolling? You really rolling the intro on the Yeah.